Always fun that moment. It gets quiet on our end as we were all chatting and had a whole bunch of banter going here. And our marketing team hits go live and we all get quiet. And we're like, okay, participants are coming in. So welcome everybody. Thanks. We'll give a minute here as everybody jumps in before we get started. And hey, if you're just jumping in, let's find out. We have a little competition for a minute here. Who has the coolest weather today around our country in where you are? I got to look actually on my weather app. What is our
I'm
high?
looking.
Linda, you're right by the coast, so you have probably a good
I'm
shot at winning this thing. And so I am today in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene at 86 degrees is the high. Anybody cooler than that? Jump into the chat and or the Q&A and give us a where you are and what your high is today.
okay. I'm
Afraid
Pacific
to look at our
Palisades,
high.
California. 71.
71? Are you
Nice.
serious? Oh man, that's why you pay
I'm
the
currently
woman.
at 70.
What'd you say, Michelle?
I'm currently at 70, but I know it's
Well,
going to be a hot one today.
yeah. What's your high today in Northern California?
Oh, hi. Sorry.
She's in the
High
valley too.
95.
95.
Okay. I did current temp, Matt. I'm revising mine. I'm 78 for a high.
Oh.
Okay, we
What are
got
you, Robin?
wow, we got a 68. He for some dude that's just sitting right on the beach, I think in Oceanside.
Oceanside. Definitely. They have a leg up.
Yeesh.
I'm sitting at 90 this morning or this afternoon
Aw.
now.
With
It's
humidity.
Exactly. Well, great. Well, this is where the peak of summer, where we can all be jealous. And for those who live at the beach, sorry for your taxes that you have to pay. And so, and those of us who are enduring a little hotter weather, we save, on our pocketbooks. Great. I'm super excited to have this conversation today. And so my name is Matt Morris for everybody. I'm the CEO of EncorEstate Plans, and I'm here to facilitate the conversation we're going to have. For those of you who don't know Encore, just kind of give you our mission is to equip the trusted advisor to fix the broken estate planning client experience for their mass affluent clients. And in the procrastination that too often happens by getting documents created and keeping them up to date. So in that missional pursuit of on our end, we're really excited to be launching a partnership and introduce our advisors and more advisors to Financially Empowered and Linda Sherman to bring some really incredible insights, specifically today on the topic of women and estate planning. And so our primary content is going to be shared by Linda and Michele and Robin, who are Encorians, as we call ourselves. And they're going to share a bunch of great insights on this topic as women. Now, I'm the only man on the mic with a mic today. So I have to tell everybody I offered the three of them to contribute my tremendous expertise on the topic of women. In fact, I'll even share my resume. I mean, I lived inside of a woman for 9 months. I lived with three sisters for 18 years. In 2 weeks, I will have been married to a woman for 29 years, altogether, like 32 years. I have 21 years as a father to a daughter. And so, all told, I think I've lived with a woman in my home for 49 years. So based on that experience, I argued, for a seat at the table, as I have a lot to say on this topic. And so I have to tell you, it's with great disappointment that I was shot down and I was relegated to a role of facilitator for this call. Maybe there's some men on the call that can feel my pain, that I'm not going to contribute as much to this topic I'm so good at. So that being said, the sting kind of wore off because I know the quality of women we have in Linda and Robin and Michele today. I'm going to throw it over to Linda. And I shared my experience, years of experience with women. I'm smart enough not to know. I'm not going to ask you to share your number of years of experience of understanding women. But I'm going to throw it over to Linda now to make introductions. Tell us about Financial Empowered, your background.
All right, Matt, I could say that is the first time I have ever heard an introduction like that. So hats off to you. I will say I'm so happy to be here, and I'm going to warn you all up front. Estate planning is literally like my favorite topic on the planet. So if I get a little out of control, I apologize up front. I absolutely love estate planning. So I'm Linda Sherman, and my partner Joy Prefer Cohen and I founded our company, Financially Empowered, to give you tools to attract and retain female clients, strengthen relationships, and help bulletproof and grow your business. So today we're going to run through a piece of our program, and we're going to show you how to better connect and capture relationships with women arising from a big problem and a big opportunity. And I'm going to leave you with that hook for me to come back in a few minutes after Michele introduces herself. Michele.
Thanks, Linda. I'm Michele Holmes. I have almost 10 years of estate planning experience, and I've been with Encore since day one. I was their first employee. I've done probably over 10,000 plans. So I know a little bit about estate planning, and I've been a woman all my life. Robin?
We won't ask you to tell us how many years that's been, but because I know women so well, I'm not going to ask that question.
Hi, I'm Robin Darden. I have probably about 20 years in estate planning and working with financial advisors over my career. I've been with Encore for, on the 3rd will be 2 years now that I've been with Encore. Very happy to be here. And I've worked in areas of probate, estate planning. I've worked on the other side of financial advisors and some trust companies. So I have a varied background with estate planning. And I will turn it back over to you, Matt.
Cool. Well, here's where we're going to go with the conversation, just to give everybody the heads up. You've met the speakers. One of the things I wanted to bring up here is Q&A. We would love it if you jumped into the Q&A. We want this to be as conversational as possible. I'll be the facilitator of your comments. If you could use the Q&A versus the chat, it's helpful to kind of keep those organized. So as you have questions for Linda or Robin or Michele or good discussion points, feel free to jump in there early and often, and I'll facilitate that to get their feedback as well. Sometimes the chat gets busy with stuff passing through, but that'd be great if you use the Q&A. And I'm going to just take about 2 minutes for those who don't know what Encore is or anything about Encore, what we are, and then I'm going to throw it over to Linda, and she's going to take it away from here. So for that, this is the considerations that we are seeing the industry move in the right direction towards holistic planning that goes well beyond just asset management and the planning focused orientation advisors, both on tax and estate. And what's happening is the benefits to the financial firms that are taking this seriously they're seeing more revenue from estate planning conversations. They're getting more referrals, higher retention, and asset discovery as a huge benefit to prioritizing estate planning conversations. And this is also within the realm of being able to delegate or collaborate. And being very collaborative is where these benefits come from. Most advisors today still delegate most of this out and say, let me give you the name of an attorney to go have these conversations. Advisors that prioritize these conversations are seeing great results. And so to give you a sense of what Encore does is we do 2 things. One is you can upload any client's existing document to us, and we will give you back what we call a visual estate plan summary. It's a simple summary of who has been named in someone's document. We do the work to extract it, make it super easy to allow you to have a deliverable to your client, and that looks nice, that it could be a great cover page for their existing estate plan and helps them understand with a one look what maybe 70, 80, 100 pages covers for them. And so we also do new documents where we actually can take the client's decisions from our software. We create the new documents with a state-specific attorney created templates and make it easy and affordable to get new documents in place. We also do powers only plans. We'll come back around on this today. It's going to be very relevant to some of the things Linda's going to share with you, where we can just do power of attorney, healthcare directives, and HIPAA documents as well. We do deed filing. We fund trusts. We're very unique from a software platform and service platform that we do a property deed filing. This often gets missed, business assignments as well. And we help you digitize your client's estate plans so that when future updates come, it's super easy to keep them up to date. And it's not a go back and start all over, maybe with a new attorney when you need to make updates. And so we believe the trusted advisor can be the hero in this situation in a facilitation role. put a lot of constraints on unauthorized practice of law, prepare you to avoid that. We are the document creator. Couple quick things on why Encore. We're very unique in our approach to this, and one of them is the human review. You're going to meet today two of our team that actually review every document before we provide it back. Software only has problems when the documents are not reviewed by humans, and bad inputs can be bad outputs too often. It also enables a lot of customization, and that clients can really get what they want in a software platform when the humans are able to review and customize what they want. We think the advisor facilitating the process is the best way to do that. We're a pay-as-you-go platform, very simple, doesn't cost anything to be a part of Encore, and you just pay per plan when you use us, and we talked about that deed filing. Lastly, just so you're familiar, advisors create an account at Encore. We only work through advisors, and we charge $150 for that summary whenever you upload existing clients' documents to us. We charge $625 for a trust-based estate plan with all those documents included there, $375 for a will, $125 for a powers only, and then $250 in most states for deed filing. So just wanted to give you that lay of the land if you weren't familiar with us and how we work. And really, I'm going to pivot here and throw it back over to Linda, but it's this estate planning topic that women care about and are often the drivers of, that really creates a huge opportunity for advisors to lean in here. And I'm excited to have you all meet Linda in a deeper way here and hear what she has to share on this, because she's going to blow your mind with some of the impacts of estate planning and retaining women as clients long-term, serving women well. So Linda, take it away from here. I'm going to stop my share and allow you to throw up your screen.
Awesome. We're going to put up the slides. Let me know if are those up, and can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, super. I forgot to add the years that I've been around. Joy and myself, we've each been at this over 40 years in financial services working with advisors. So we are super honored to be here today and to have you join us. Thank you so much for your time. So I had referenced a big problem and a huge opportunity. Let me talk about the opportunity. Women are going to control 2/3 of US household assets, or 30 trillion, by 2030, up from 10 trillion today. So that is a triple in 5 years. That 30 trillion number is greater than US GDP and a quarter of world GDP. Women might represent more than half of your book of business. So we ask, are you prepared to capture your share of the tsunami of female wealth and their next in line? So now that's the opportunity. What in the world is the problem? This problem has been around for over 30 years and has not budged. 70% of women who become divorced or widowed fire their partner's advisor within a year. 70%. Divorce and death may be your biggest competitor, not other advisors. So can we do better? Of course, we say absolutely yes. And sadly, the words used to describe today in research how women feel about their relationship with their advisor, here's what we hear. It's awful, overlooked, disconnected, overwhelmed, and unprepared. This must change. We say, give her reasons to stay and be the advisor women move to. So I told you, Joy and I have spent our entire careers, over 40 years in financial services, working with advisors and clients. And we've turned this experience, coupled with extensive interviews, into an onboarding and re-engagement process designed to address how women think and feel. When we asked them, what do you need from their advisors? Their answer had nothing to do with investment performance or fees. They want connection and peace of mind. And one of the keys to delivering this is the estate planning conversation. Now, where's another huge opportunity? 9 out of 10 advisors do not incorporate estate planning into their practice on a consistent basis. Now, here's the disconnect. 93% of clients expect their advisor to discuss estate planning, but obviously the majority don't. So there's the opportunity. Estate planning is also your key to multi-generational asset retention. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to walk you through our estate planning guide, which we hope you have in front of you, along with our action plan. It is about so much more than just estate planning and saving taxes. It's about deepening your connection and being indispensable by using estate planning. It's designed to give clients peace of mind, knowing the people and causes they care about are taken care of, and you are the one who helped get them there. So in our experience, this is when women truly open up and feel comfortable sharing their opinions. It's where she is the expert. You're in her lane. This boosts her comfort level with you, her sense of control, and her trust in you. Don't just send her a link or give her a phone number to do her estate plan. Seize the opportunity, exactly what Matt said, to make estate planning your differentiator. We're going to close today with an action plan to help you get started. I want you to use the worksheet on the back of the action plan throughout this presentation and do two things. First, jot down the names of female clients who come to mind and who you need to reconnect with. In particular, add to the list the names of women with whom you have not had the estate planning conversation. Now, today we're also going to share a lot of campaign ideas, and we call them high mileage ask her questions, designed to spark meaningful conversations. Note the ones that resonate with you. These questions allow you to get into her head and her heart. And by the way, the guide and the ask her questions are for all women, married and single, and you can ask him too. And I'm joking, but I love estate planning so much, which I told you I'm actually married to an estate planning attorney. That's just a coincidence. Okay, let's dive in. What have advisors told us? Many of the most successful advisors we know and interviewed, they lead with estate planning. They say it's one of the best ways to get to know their clients and prospects and helps them cement their role as the trusted wealth advisor. We know advisors who retain 100% of their clients upon death of the spouse because they often lead with estate planning and emphasize its importance. So here you see on the screen what they told us. Number one, I asked prospects, what has your current advisor done for you regarding estate planning? And you know what he usually hears? Not much. I lead with estate planning. It's my differentiator and proof their family will be taken care of. So look, investment discussions can feel like a commodity, but the estate planning conversation is different. It's personal, and it's a differentiator that allows for deeper discovery. So ask this question: what has your advisor done for you regarding estate planning? Another advisor shared, when you get involved with estate plans, the relationships stick. Joy and I call it the sticky glue you want for the relationship. And lastly, a top advisor told us, I'm thrilled when competitors don't bring up estate planning. It makes it easier to do what I call the client grab. He knows he has an excellent shot at getting that account. Michele, I know you want to share some insights here.
Well, I just think that it may be kind of obvious, but it's talking about estate planning is the easy end to talk about with women. It's not talking about numbers or trading and things like that that might be hard to start talking with someone you don't know as well with. And estate planning is personal to them, and that's an easy open to really build a connection with your women clients.
Okay, thank you, Michele. Now we're going to move on and hear what clients told us. So we're going to flip the lens now and hear from clients. The estate planning conversation aligns with women's priorities, which are to plan for and protect themselves and their families. Women want to get personal. They want to be heard and feel good about the choices they've made for the important people and causes in their lives. Here are examples of why the estate planning conversation is so important to them. You're going to hear a lot of emotions, so get ready. This woman, I love her. What did she tell us? I have growing anxiety and wake up at night because I don't know anything about our estate plan or what will happen to me and my family. And she continued to tell us, ready? I pounded on my husband almost daily to finalize our estate plan. But he told me, and I'm quoting here, he didn't want to think about dying. See Michele laughing there. I know this client. It took her almost 10 years to get it done. That is 10 years of anxiety and fear. That is not okay. Be proactive with clients and set up a meeting with both partners to get this done. Now, a recent divorcee shared with us, my ex-husband and our advisor never included me in the conversations. Now I have control of millions. How do I find an advisor for me? She's thinking, should I try still working with our advisor or seek a new relationship? And don't laugh at me for quoting the band The Clash here. Should I stay or should I go? That is what she is thinking. So give her reasons to stay, be proactive, use estate planning to hit the refresh button. and say to her, it's important for you to have your own estate plan and beneficiaries. Let's talk about what's important for you. And now the last quote. Everything weighed really heavily on me for years. I'm forever grateful to my advisor who helped us get our plan done. So bottom line here, we are big believers in what you do and the value of your advice. Our goal is to make you indispensable to her. So here we go. The gender balance in everyone's book is shifting. I already told you about the tripling of assets to 30 trillion in 5 years and that stubborn 70% stat that I shared with you. So where are these women going? We all know there are plenty of advisors and RIAs out there who are just waiting like cabs on a taxi line to take your female clients from you. And do not forget, your number one client is someone else's number one prospect. If you are not convinced to be proactive with your female clients, let me tell you, Sally Krawcheck, the former CEO of Ellevest, is. What started as a do-it-yourself platform for women now has a private wealth division with advisors and a $1 million minimum. They coordinate with the client's estate planning attorneys and have certified divorce financial analysts on staff. So how do you stop the hunt for your wealthy, how do you stop her hunt for your wealthy female clients? The answer is you and your relationship with her. And I'm happy to say this solution doesn't require any PhD in women's studies. What it requires for you is to go there, have the meaningful conversations, or she'll go elsewhere. First, tell her this is a safe space. Literally say those words so she feels comfortable engaging. Remind her every question that's important to you is important to me. That's active listening. We felt so strongly about the need to learn her language that we trademarked the terms go there and ask her. So let me give you a quick success story and a cautionary tale. You might like this one. It's in the RIA space. We work with an RIA who told us that they took a very large account from a private wealth advisor. And why? This was her quote. Because I engaged the wife and looked her in the eye. That's it. Pretty incredible, right? Now, let me tell you the cautionary tale. We spoke with a private wealth advisor who received a call from the daughters of one of their largest clients. The daughters told them, the team, that they were going to move their 40 million out as soon as their father passes away because the team ignored the mother for years. The relationship was unsalvageable. 40 million out the door because the wife was ignored. You know, if the husband passes first, which is often the case, the wife and children will make a conscious decision to either stay with you or not. Give them reasons to stay. I think I'm a broken record here. But have the estate planning conversation and think right now about your female client experience. Is there room for improvement? How can you really expect to be the first phone call from a client when something happens if you've never discussed estate planning with her? Be her first responder and make estate planning your super glue. I love my slide here. That's my super glue. And we have work to do. Why? 67% of Americans have no will or living trust. Now, we all know there's a bunch of research, my gosh, studies forever on women in the marketplace as women investors, but none have moved the needle. I want to highlight two of my favorites. One can be a very big problem, is that an hour-long meeting, on average, an advisor speaks for, you see it here, drum roll, 53 minutes, leaving only 7 minutes for the client. So are you spending this time discussing investments and performance? Why not start by asking her what's most important to you? This is how you get to know her. And we think you should get to know her. Why? And here's my favorite stat. Because satisfied female clients may refer up to 20 times more than the most satisfied male client. Mic drop. 20 times. So 1 becomes 20, 20 becomes 400. Think about that. This is a game changer for prospecting and growing your business. Women talk to each other and trust each other. Your satisfied female clients can be your growth engine. So how do you ignite this? You need to go there and again, have those meaningful conversations. I want to give you a quick example of the current environment at a wirehouse. An estate planning specialist told us that out of 200 client meetings she did with her colleague last year, attended by advisors, that very few times the women showed up. She asked this room full of advisors, where are the women? Why are they missing out on these relevant conversations? And I'm asking you the same question, and I hope your women clients are included. Get them in that room so that they can participate in these important estate planning decisions, which they care about. Ask her, my tongue is in my cheek, but do you want your jewels to go to your kids or your husband's new wife and her kids? Michele, Robin, you can make sure that doesn't happen, right? Okay, look, 9 out of 10 women will control their household finances at some point in their lives. Many already do, married or not. And many are major breadwinners. And in fact, 80% of men die married and 80% of women die single. So they must be informed, and you need to be the one educating them. And that's the opportunity for you if you act. Be the one benefiting from the 70% stat where the money is moving to you. And by the way, women do not have a preference to work with female advisors. So when they leave, it is not about gender. It's about lack of connection, and they ask their friends for referrals. So get out that worksheet. Start your target list now. Our guide will help you flip the script on 53 and 7, which is going to help you deliver 20 times referrals and connect you to the 9 out of 10 women who will control their finances. So hit the refresh button on the relationships now. Robin, over to you for some thoughts on this subject.
Thank you, Linda. In my experience, this is what has happened, exactly what Linda has said, that more than not, the woman is not involved, and they don't even know where the estate plan is. They don't know where the assets are. They have no idea. They don't even know if their name is on the deed correctly when the husband passes away. So that's a big deal. So there's a lot of women out there that just need to be brought in with the husbands and just explain to them, this is where we are, this is the things that are done. And I really think this is a great presentation for this, that Encore can make it really simple to get the client in there and not have to go to an attorney's office, because that usually takes twice as long. If you send them to an attorney's office, they're usually shy away from that.
All right, super.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Linda.
Robin. Oh, Michele.
Twice as long and cost twice or more as much.
Sounds good to me, right? Okay, the estate planning guide, which I hope you have in front of you, starts with 6 important questions, an assessment of her needs, a glossary, and an act now section. Women have told us that estate planning is daunting. They want their advisor to discuss the basic steps on how to approach a plan. So first, ask her, do you have an estate plan? Here's the killer. Do you understand it? Many don't. Offer to review it with her, or obviously use the services of Encore to review their plan. And honestly, Matt, as you just said, for $150, you can ignite your referral machine. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. Okay, so ask her, is the plan current? Right? Life changes, laws change. Suggest she check in with Encore or her estate planning attorney every 5 years or sooner, and especially if relationships change, like she's divorced, widowed, or moved out of state. We heard from an advisor about a divorced client who neglected to update her will, which distributed assets to her ex-husband's children. The accounts are frozen. It is a hot mess for the family and the advisor. So by engaging her at a deeper, more intimate level, you will be a part of her advisory team. And if she has no plan at all, she can obviously use the services of Encore Estate Plans, but make sure she gets it done, and she will love you for that. And if she's still putting it off, try a cautionary tale. Tell her, and you heard about Robin's expertise in probate, tell her their heirs may resort to battling out in probate court, where the judge, a total stranger, will make decisions. Remind her that probate is public, expensive, and could take a long time, 18 months or more to resolve. And you especially don't want to be in probate when she's grieving a loss. So to quote a successful advisor, he says, you choose who gets what, or the government will. Don't let your clients end up in probate like so many well-known people who had a ton of advisors around them. Even Chadwick Boseman, who battled cancer for 4 years, died without a will. It is sad, unfair, and completely avoidable. Everyone loses except for the lawyers who charge for their time to sort things out. And I really say shame on those advisors. So now we're going to dive into the 6 meaningful questions. Okay,
Real quick,
number
Linda.
1.
Linda,
Yeah.
just want to let everybody know, because we're getting a few questions on it. We're going to send that estate planning guide out after this webinar to everybody who registered. So that'll be coming in your email.
Okay, so let's start with number 1. I'm a mother, top of my list. My son's over 18. I can exhale. But we want you to ask her, who do you want to act as legal guardian to take care of your minor children, if you or your partner are no longer able to care for them? So let me tell you, I can relate to this question. Ladies, you might laugh at me because it was really tough. I ended up changing my guardians 3 times in 10 years. I mean, my sister-in-law said, Linda, I'm traveling 3 months a year on Crystal Cruises. I can't take care of your son. So I had to make a change. Okay. So I changed 3 times in 10 years. Many women don't know they can do that, so they take no action. But through this discussion, you learn more about her family and obviously the most trusted people in her life. I cannot think of a more meaningful conversation to strengthen your connection. I'm going to chat now, for I know both ladies have something to say.
That's all it is, strength and connection. Like Linda said earlier, they just want someone to look them in the eyes. And having these conversations about their children should be an easy opening to be able to do that.
And also for your besties and different things like that, they're going to take care of you. Your husband may have had, or your partner may have had a totally different idea than what you have and had a better relationship. So it's not something that can't be changed later on down the road if something happens. There can always be amendments done to have their wishes taken care of.
Right. We like to say your estate plan is set in sand, not in stone, so you can change it anytime.
Oh, that's a good line. I like that. I'm going to add that to my worksheet.
And as life changes, your decision changes. Maybe your children are young now, but in the future, maybe in their 20s or 30s, they would be more able to step in and take those financial responsibilities. So this is an evolving document.
Okay, we're moving on now to question number 2. You see our cute doggy on the screen here. If you thought I was impassionate before, wait till I get to this one. I want you to ask her, who will make healthcare decisions for you if you're not able to do so? So I don't know, maybe people don't want to think about that, but they must. And I'm getting on my soapbox. We heard from an LA family whose son in college was in a terrible car accident in San Francisco. He did not have a healthcare directive. Doctors at the hospital would not speak with the parents over the phone. So just imagine that awful drive to San Francisco not knowing. Everyone needs to have one. And we know from our client engagement that there's a lot of misinformation and outdated directives out there with ex-husbands and dead relatives as selections. So ask the question. This conversation is a no-brainer place to start. So, and all of your team needs to know this, when she calls in and mentions international travel or a medical procedure for her or her family, ask her if they have an updated healthcare directive. Don't miss discussing these core issues that matter most to women. This is how you become indispensable and ignite referrals. Okay, off the soapbox. Question number 3, ask her, who will make financial decisions for you if you're not able to? This person is clearly critical to your asset retention. Speak with your top clients about the person they selected and their experience. And here is one of my favorite things from my presentation. I want you to please write this down. You are going to ask for an introduction. And you're just going to say, I'd welcome an introduction so that they know I'm available to assist them with financial decisions. Our theme in estate planning is meet her people. So I recently met with a $2 million producer, and he told me that he didn't have time to discuss the estate plan. I shared with him the following story. A single girlfriend of mine worked with her advisor and an attorney to create her estate plan. The advisor asked the magic introductory quote, asking for the introduction to her trustee and executor, which was her brother. By the way, that brother is worth $200 million. So ask her, question 4, who will you select to be the executor of your will and the trustee of your trust? Why ask this question? Well, I can think of 200 million reasons why. The roles of executor and trustee require both emotional and administrative tasks, neither of which are always easy. So whoever they appoint must be qualified and trustworthy and capable, as they have discretion to spend trust assets or withhold distributions in circumstances where beneficiaries might have substance abuse or mental health issues. This is a serious responsibility where you can help. So our theme here, meet her people. They are your potential prospects and an opportunity to lock in the next generation. Question 5, who will inherit your assets, or very simply, who gets what? Dig deeper here. Find out additional information about the client's family, AKA your potential future clients. Offer to be the educator. Lead that family conversation. So Joy and I were recently at an advisor event where we asked the question, who has done a family meeting? And not one hand went up. These can go a long way in a meeting where you can meet her people and understand the family dynamics. Does the client need a special needs trust for the ongoing care of a child with a learning or developmental challenges? I mean, lots of things are going on. We know of an unmarried couple committed to each other for 32 years, no estate plan. When Chris died unexpectedly, all his money went to his next of kin, his estranged father, Chris, we haven't spoken to in 40 years. Again, so avoidable. So I don't know about you, but Sunday nights are not the same without the show Succession. But you don't need to be the fan of the show to know that families can be complicated and dysfunctional. Help her take control so she can avoid the kind of dysfunction that becomes the stuff of TV drama. Michele and Robin, I'm sure you've seen it all. Over to you.
That's right. It's important to have updated beneficiaries, not only in your trust, but on your beneficiary designations. Nobody wants an X anything to get part of your inheritance. So very important to keep these updated.
Yes, I've seen it way too many times where even on your IRAs, your bank accounts, where a husband or wife has died or they had a family member on there and they're no longer speaking to them and they just forget. And then it's something that they don't ask. And so that's important when an advisor takes over, especially for somebody that's lost their spouse, that they have that conversation. Who's your beneficiary now? Have you changed or updated your beneficiary designations for any of your wills, your health care, like Linda was talking about?
Okay, thank you, ladies. Okay, our last question, question number 6. Ask her, do you want to leave a meaningful legacy to a charitable organization or invest with your values? This question is terrific because it will give you a lot of insight into your client's values and what's most important to her. 2 steps. Women are more than twice as likely as men to say that giving to a charity is the most satisfying thing about having money, and twice as likely as men to consider impact investing. I think there's a theme here. This conversation can be a differentiator and a competitive edge. Some women want their money to have a dual purpose, competitive returns and do good. So ask her, are you aware that you can invest with your values and have a positive impact on society? So I know there's a lot of political stuff around it, but truth is, I spoke recently at an ESG program, and one attendee was on the board of water.org, a global nonprofit. She believed her life's mission was to ensure the planet has clean water for the next generation. Very apolitical. When she learned that there are money managers who discuss water usage with the companies they invest in, it changed her entire perception of investing, Wall Street, and most importantly, it changed her perception of her advisor. She told me she felt in total alignment with him. And that is great for the advisor. It is a great reason for her to stay and refer her friends, her colleagues, her fellow board members. So help her leave a charitable legacy, which can give you a continuing role in the management of the gifted assets. So now, here we go. We're going to tie it all together. The 6 conversations all get tied together with the estate plan to give her peace of mind and for you better connection and access to her people. So you might remember some of those, the opening quotes from women who had a lot of anxiety and frustration and fear weighing on them. Our dream, our goal while we're here today is to replace those fears with peace of mind by going through this process. Ask her the questions in our guide. Partner with Encore, which simplifies the estate planning process and delivers live, human, I'm adding brilliant, Matt, I don't know if you said brilliant before, I'm adding brilliant same day answers to her questions. I mean, that's unbelievable. I'm not going to commit you to same day, but they're very prompt. You can address that later. Amazing service. So remind her, though, you see it on the guide, notify the people she selected for the different roles. And of course, she needs to ask them and let them know where all the information is and have the documents been notarized. Seen that happen a bunch. Forgot that final step. I see Robin rolling her eyes. And here's another important one. And I was in management at a wirehouse for a couple of years. Retitle accounts in the name of the trust and make sure your trust accounts have assets. Take a minute to think about that. Run your list today because we know there is potentially serious consequences if you haven't done that. like a home not being titled correctly, along with, of course, assets. And when Encore, your estate attorney, says to her, "You're done," this will be music to her ears. I'm going to share with you a very funny personal story, so don't laugh at me. I've already sang for you, so you're probably laughing already. So here's the deal. I gathered my family for my birthday dinner, and I reviewed our estate plan. Not the numbers, but the people in charge. Gave out just the 2 pieces of paper that says who's in charge, first and second, third choices for everything. And my 2 oldest sons, who are in their 40s, said, "I need a drink." And their wives said, "We need to get this done for ourselves now." And they drove it for their own families. Women are natural planners and will drive this process. They want security for themselves and their family. So use that to your advantage and be the one to get her to the finish line. And when you do, you'll hear things like, "I could think of so many friends who need to go through this process," which is now music to your ears. So in addition to the guide, I hope you have the action plan. I'm going to quickly review it. You see it up here on the slide. Number 1, get your team on board. Who's going to take the lead here? Evaluate your process for onboarding and engaging female clients and review relationships. I love this one. Capitalize on the existing strong relationships your support staff, CSAs, CAs have with your female clients. Create a culture of turning everyday service calls into relationship building calls. So here's an idea. Run a list of clients with kids in college to ensure they have a healthcare and a financial directive. Or when she calls in for a 529 distribution, instead of that being just an administrative task, ask her, "Does your child have a healthcare directive?" This is a great way to ignite that power of the 20 times. And you better believe she's calling her friends with kids in college or going to college to share what she has learned from your team. Or she might say, which we heard from at one of our client events, once she learned about this, she had just dropped her kid at college, and she said, "I won't sleep till I get this done." And she called her lawyer the next day. So FYI, Encore, I think Michele or Matt mentioned it, has a package called Powers Package that for $125, you can create a healthcare and financial directive. My goodness, offer this to your college-bound and college-attending families and watch those referrals explode. Side note, personal mission, make sure your own estate plans are current so you can speak from experience. Number 2, mind your book for opportunities to refresh and reengage. There is a gold mine in there. Look at accounts with no estate plans, outdated plans, or recent life changes. How about accounts, again, not titled in trust or trust accounts without assets? And remember that 67% stat, no will, no living trust. Run a list of your female clients to evaluate relationships with your team. Make sure she has the financial, estate, and insurance plans that she understands. After seeing our program, a top team who manages over 30 billion called a special meeting to review their female client relationships. This led them to further discussions, and they hosted a client event. Number 3, use the guide as a meeting agenda. Send it out in advance of the meeting so she comes prepared to talk. One advisor told us it keeps him on track. So let our guide help you get her to the estate planning finish line. Number 4, be the educator to her and her family. We told you this already, right? Meet her people. Don't assume if she attends meetings with her partner, she feels connected and engaged with you. Ask her, would you like a separate meeting to address your needs or review your plans? Here's an idea. Hit the road for a woman's tour, as an advisor shared with us after losing, are you ready for this? A 9-figure account. I had to write that down. That's a lot of zeros, okay? Commas, a 9-figure account because he did not engage the wife. He will not let that happen again. He's on a woman's tour and he's asking her to invite her adult children. So why do 80% of children fire their parents' advisor? And 68% have no relationship established with their parents' advisor. So lead that family conversation to activate the next generation. And to quote a top Forbes advisor, he says, "I won't let her take a back seat." Think about women who don't participate in calls and meetings. We know you have them. Do not confuse attendance with connection. Evaluate your process for onboarding and engagement. We feel strongly that the time for her to hear about her financial situation is not while riding in the ambulance, when her husband is having a heart attack and he's trying to tell her about the 27 accounts and passwords. We know a woman this happened to, and her advisor failed her. Number 5, engage your centers of influence. Share the guide with your strategic partners like family attorneys, CPAs, business managers. co-host events with them to meet their clients and partners. We know this works. So we just shared a bunch of actual ideas for you, and I hope you have a few that resonated with you. Now, we get it. If your top client is a husband and he doesn't want you to get his wife involved, I've seen that a lot, maybe ask, if your wife outlives you, would you want someone to take advantage of her or your wealth you've built so hard to create? Then add, would it make sense to bring in your adult children as a starting point to get the family more involved? So look, women worry. We worry a lot. In fact, 93% of women feel stressed when it comes to managing money per a Fidelity 2024 study. This hits our true north of financially empowered to help women spend their time living and not worrying. When we speak at client events, many of the questions are focused on estate planning. So host an event for her colleagues, her friends, because women are the gateway to the next generation. And here's a very sad reality. We were contacted by a private wealth team who had 6 clients pass away last year, all husbands. And unfortunately, the team had no relationship with the spouses and assets were walking right out the door. The kids left too. The associate is now called the Queen of Death on their team. So let's help you avoid this. We have a client event. It's called the Road to Empowerment, and it walks the client through. We have 3 client guides. First one is on investing that gets her to her financial plan. Then the estate planning, which we covered today. And our third we call Worry Less, which is insurance solutions. With impactful go there questions like, what happens to your family if you die tonight? After our event, our attendees are inspired to sit down with you and act on next steps in their financial life. So contact us, let's book a date. We start with an initial call to understand what you want to accomplish. We have the virtual client event, and then we schedule follow-up for feedback and any next steps. So we like to say the advisor that earns her trust doesn't just retain her net worth. Often they inherit her entire network. So we hope you can see that the estate planning conversation is a great tool to connect and engage with women. If you ask her about financial security, her kids, family, or causes, she will engage. We hope you see that women are the ultimate leverage for your practice and turn women in your book into advocates and their grateful children into knowledgeable executors and trustees as well as clients. Hopefully your worksheet is full of women to contact and actions to take. Make a commitment today. It may require a little bit of a change of behavior or habits, but it is worth it. So our message is, you are judged by how you make her feel, valued, informed, connected, and confident. Those are the words we want you to hear. And if you have any relationships in question, clear them up. Make sure you're aligned with her priorities. We believe her priorities are connection and peace of mind, and the estate planning conversations are key to delivering both. So get her to that finish line. It's just smart business. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to turn things back to Matt, who's going to take it from here.
Yeah, we have a couple of really good questions that I'd love to hear from all 3 of you on and that I can tee up. And the first one was, how do you frame the request to meet the executors? Linda, and who is going to be that person for you?
I mean, everyone's words are different, right? If it were me, I say the word love. I've been told by advisors, men don't like to say love. So if it's me, I'd love to meet the important people in your life. Something happens, I want them to know I'm here for you. I understand your needs. I'd welcome an introduction. So I really think it's as simple as exactly that. I'd welcome an introduction to the important people in your life who are clearly in your estate plan, right? I mean, ladies, I'd love to hear from you. When people have to go do their estate plan, the first thing they have to think about is all the important people that they're going to give responsibilities to. So everybody on that list, right? Healthcare, financial, guardians, are all their important people. So I think it's as simple as that, so that they know I'm here to assist with financial decisions. I mean, it would be nice to add on, and I understand your estate plan too. So if you've gone there.
I think Linda touched on this earlier in the talk, but she also said to offer to be a help to them. Say, I would love to get to know them so that when the time comes, they know they can come to me and I can be a resource for them. I think that's a great angle to present yourself as helping them, and so that you know them and they know you and can be comfortable enough with you.
Yeah, that makes sense too, from even the next generation, where you kind of have that family meeting that you talked about as well, that this is how to build a relationship, estate planning with the next generation. Robin, do you have thoughts there?
I just think that what you just said, Matt, have a family meeting maybe with some of the trusted people, because there's a lot of folks that don't want the next person to know what's going on yet. They don't want them to know that they're going to be trustee or they're going to be this or that, but they do want them maybe to be involved in a conversation of, okay, this is what I'm planning on doing, and let them be guided about, okay, what are the steps we're going to take? Just in case there's that, I don't want them to know yet, because there's a lot of people out there that still they don't want them to know that they're trustee yet. They don't want them to know the ins and outs. So maybe if you just have that family meeting with the children and the important people and just talk about it and just have that conversation just to start it off before you go into depth on that.
And I just want to add, because I told you my funny birthday story, right? We didn't cover assets. We covered who's in charge. So I think there's a different, I think a lot of people are scared that they have to open the kimono and tell everybody. And I've met the patriarch that says, I don't want her to know, she's going to spend all my money. There's a lot of things around money. I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about the who, and you getting to know the who. So you don't have to include the how much in these conversations, in my opinion. That might make some people feel more comfortable.
Yeah. Here's the good one from a guy's perspective. A little bit long, but I'll read it real quick. Have expressed interest in potentially making my niche female business owners, retirees, widows, but have had a few close female friends express it might be perceived as strange that for that to be my niche as a male planner. I've been told that they would personally feel more comfortable with a female advisor in that niche. You said something to that earlier, Linda, about not a preference, so maybe you can bring that back up. So thus they recommended I don't blatantly state my niche as being women, but just keep it more high level as business owners, retirees. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you have any other recommendation in being able to have a women focused niche as a male planner?
I'll just say my gut is absolutely, you can focus on it and be explicit about it, but it would be like, I would want to know why. What is it about you that you have a great understanding? I work with a team that I coach, and he was raised by a single mom, and he just leads with that, and he really has a lot of empathy for women and women trying to make it. You know, that alone, 80% of his clients are women. It's just kind of the who he is, and he's very extroverted about sharing that. And I think it's a great connector. I mean, McKinsey just did a study in May and literally just updated and said there is no preference on gender. So I don't think, to me, if you're going to say I focus on women business owners, then you're going to have a planning approach, and you're going to, think like a woman thinks, right? We don't lead with asset allocation, the latest private equity deal. Get me to peace of mind. Do I have enough money? Do I have enough insurance? Am I covered? The what ifs, all the things that we worry about. So if you really have a process for that, my gut is absolutely, I don't know, ladies.
Yeah, the niche, I think you made the right point that it has to, you have some personal tie. Any of your niches should be, I'm a pickleball player. I work with pickleball players. If you're not tied to your niche, that you have that story or experience, then it has to work there. Go ahead, Michele.
I love hearing Linda's perspective, but I was going to kind of go a little differently. Unless you do have specific background and are really naturally good at that. The example Linda used, I would say just be you, be an estate planner to people, to couples. And with the stats, what they are, 80% of men die married, 80% of women die single. You're going to end up being an advisor for women anyway with those numbers. So get to know couples, get to know both the clients in a married relationship, and you'll end up being an advisor for women just by numbers. But if you have something great to offer for women only, definitely lead with, don't shy away from that. But my perspective is just be an advisor to people, and you'll end up being an advisor to women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In my experience, I've had mostly men, and we've had more financial advisors that were more compassionate, and I say that, compassionate with the women, and they kept them as their clients instead of trying to take them and put them off on another. And most financial advisors will find that. They'll find their niche. And I don't know about you guys, but me as a woman, I like a financial advisor that's more compassionate. They just happen to be the men that I have a financial advisor association with. So as long as they're compassionate, and a woman will know if they have their best interest at heart. And I think most of us do know that for sure.
Good quick question from Sarah on the 80% of women die single, 80% of men die married. Do you know if we're a source for that? Because
You know, I forgot, but if you literally put it in Google, yeah, if you literally put it in Google, it'll source it.
okay. Well, Linda, I'm going to admit I didn't know as much about women as I thought.
What? All those years?
Because that
So
was
ladies,
gold. There was so much good stuff there that you dropped within this context of estate planning, and I love. Thank you for all the actionable steps you gave everybody. And so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this a few more times too. There was enough there that I recognize my limitations. And so I've got some work to do on my own estate planning pieces that I learned today too, that'll help my wife out and she'll appreciate. We just launched up a poll, everybody. And so as we come down to the last few minutes here, and so if you can answer those questions for us, that'd be great. If anybody appreciated what you heard from Linda, you want to hear more, you want to learn more about what she does from a training perspective, from a client engagement perspective to handling client events that will engage the women within your book of business with this great content and thought process, let us know there. If you're interested in learning more about Encore today, we didn't give you much details, but just a high level there of both of us. We're happy to have those conversations if you can answer those poll questions for us. And give us a back in chat if you appreciated this today, because Linda, we had talked even right before this webinar that you have more content you can bring on, and maybe just do a quick description for everybody. And if you guys would like to hear more from Linda, let us know in the chat. But why don't you share your other kind of areas of topics that you can dive into? We can maybe do some subsequent webinars with.
Okay, so I was chatting earlier because we have a 3-part approved advisor training that walks advisors through our 3 guides: the financial guide, the estate planning, and the worry-less planning, which are insurance solutions. So that is approved for IWI and CFP CE credit. So we often do that training, which we could talk about maybe delivering somehow with Encore. And then we have a team coaching. It's kind of a 6 virtual phone or in person, but probably practically speaking, 6 phone calls and a client event. And what we are most excited and have seen in our coaching is, one, besides the results, but just the team, often says are on the phone with advisors more than sometimes the advisor with females, more than even the clients the advisor is. So hold on, I just lost my screen.
Sorry, I threw up ours because I wanted everybody to have your contact
I have to see
information
your
here.
faces. I can't talk if I'm looking at your. I'm sorry, that was me. We love the team training because we're teaching these CSAs how to, or people on the phone call with women all day. They call in right for that 529, not being it, just executing it, offering the separate meetings, really being so mindful, getting these female practices just engaged into their everyday practice. We just finished with a team and literally they've done everything. They've taken everything we have. We have like 80 strategies, and it's just now a part of how they do their business. And they're offering, and it's just going to be, it's great to watch. She already had a couple died. The husband said, "Oh, you can do what you want." They were going to leave, and they called the registered sales assistant, who's Series 7 licensed, and said, "We want you." They're keeping $10 million. So that was all by engaging her. Unbelievable. So we do team training. We have the client event, and then we have our advisor training, so we can put our heads together, and ladies and Victor, our heads together.
Yeah, we got more conversations to come with you, Linda. We're going to be putting some of your content in our knowledge base as well. We think it's incredibly valuable that we want more firms to find you and learn this approach because it's just powerful and it's the future, quite honestly, of continuing to be relevant. If that matters to any advisors out there, this is the future of continuing to be relevant. Robin and Michele, thank you so much for your contributions here. I learned a lot from you guys too, so thank you. My wife will be grateful for all that I learned today, and my daughter and my mom, and so they thank you. Here's our contact information. If you wanted to learn more about Encore, visit our website. You can shoot us an email at info@EncorEstate Plans. If you wanted to engage, tons of content on our website. There's a demo video there you can watch. We'd love to chat with you. Thanks, everybody. We're up against the clock, and we appreciate you attending, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.